This I picked up from AliExpress. It's supposed to be a Finka NKVD KGB knife. It isn't. The Finka NKVD KGB knife is a fixed blade knife designed for NKVD officers. The NKVD, and this is one of their patches, actually a genuine one, was the Soviet state security and hideous repression of anybody they didn't like organisation between 1917 and 1946. And the KGB took over in 1954 and were equally horribly ruthless organisation. The original is a fixed blade knife. The blade shape is fairly similar to that. So realistically, it's one of those knives like the Viking lady's knife. It's popular. There's absolutely no basis in fact or history, really. It comes with this fairly average nylon sheath, little red star and hammer and sickle on there. Similar to the most barbaric repression the world has ever seen, in my opinion. And obviously has one on the handle as well. So what do you actually get? Well, it's a surprisingly useful knife, surprisingly decent knife. Not a lot of use really if you're in the UK, because obviously we can't EDC them. I have some feelings that this handle is going to eventually fall apart if you do try EDCing it or using it too roughly. Right, the blade is 440C. The handle is resin, and overall, the entire length of this thing, the blade is very nearly 4 inches. Overall, very nearly 9 inches, just under 9 inches, tad under 9 inches. So, reasonably compact knife, nice thick knife. The blade is about 1/8 of an inch thick, so fairly tough, really. The crossguard is really the most notable feature, I think, of this. See the way it folds up like that? And it's quite neat. Swings quite nicely on that little pivot there. And locks into place quite tightly. There's not a lot of wobble on this. There's tiny bit of wobble on the blade, but for 20 quid, really, what do you expect? Not a great deal. The overall quality, you can see some machining marks there, so it's a bit, it is a bit rough. I'm not entirely certain this really is worth 20 quid. And when mine came, it had little bits of hand rolling tobacco. There was a little bit stuck in there, a bit in there, a bit around the cymbal. So it gives you an idea of the factory in which this was made. May not be to the highest standards if there are bits of tobacco in it. It's also benefits massively from a drop of oil along the hinge and along the pin there. That really makes an enormous difference to it. Give it a wipe with a bit of oil as well, because this thing is a proper fingerprint magnet, and if you give it a wipe, it makes it much less so. The blade did come very, very greasy. Very well protected, actually. So, basic opening. It is far better if you use both hands. There's a nice fuller that acts as a decent thumb nick as well. It is possible to open it using that thumb stud. If you've got hands size and strength of a gorilla, you can put your thumb right in like that, and eventually, now my hand's given out. I had a fracture in my thumb here. The tendon runs along here, stayed intact and ripped a bit of bone out. So this tendon is not very good. So you can do it. I have practiced it, and it is just about, like I said, if you've got gorilla hands, just about possible. Overall then, sharpness. Yep, out the box. Could do, again, possibly with a little bit of a honing, but that's not badly sharp. Shaving sharp. Yep, but a hone, and I think you could probably do your morning shave with that anyway. So, overall, what do you get? You get an interesting knife. It's 20 quid, really, £25 posted, I think, from China. Came in a few days. It's certainly an interesting, I think it's an interesting knife. It's a nice looking knife. You can get one with a completely black handle. I chose that because I just thought it was a bit more attractive. The crossguard idea I like, and it works, and it's firmly in place. So the thumb stud, yeah, good luck. You can. There is a trick to doing it, which I think was showing you with the thumb right under that, but yeah, not my hands anyway. So overall, it's an interesting knife. It probably is definitely just a 20 quid knife.